What gives Southern music its distinctive sound is the blending of music from the British Isles with the music of Africa. Now that began to evolve in the 1800s in the South and has affected American music ever since. Black string bands featuring banjo and fiddle have been playing in the South since before the Civil War. The Thompson brothers from Mebane, North Carolina, carried on that tradition into the 21st century. Luckily for us, a group of young black musicians was inspired by the Thompsons and started the Carolina Chocolate Drops. The group has been wildly successful due in large part to the talents of Rhiannon Giddens as a singer, banjo player, and fiddler. Today, I'm meeting Rhiannon here at the historic Horn Creek Farm in Pinnacle, North Carolina. You know, I think most people think of the banjo as the quintessential American instrument, but tell us about it coming from Africa.
Well, there's a lot of string instruments, lute instruments in West Africa, and so when Africans came over to the Americas, they either brought the instruments or the memory of the instruments with them. And in the Caribbean in particular, that was the first sort of meshing of Anglo and Celtic and African sort of cultures, music, and dance. And so the instrument that sort of came out of that synchronization, we now call the banjo, and it traveled up to North America with the slaves and became, a well-known, plantation instrument. So first, 100 years of its existence in the Americas, it was known as a black instrument, and that's how people considered it.
And then how did it get into the white community?
Well, in the 1840s and 50s, some entertainers started to look at the banjo and go, that's pretty cool. One in particular, Joel Sweeney, which we know as maybe he wasn't the first white man ever, but he was the first that we know of to pick it up. He made some changes to it, whereas instruments before would have been more handmade, sort of gourd type instruments. He made some changes to it, and also his colleagues, one thing being the wooden rim, and so they started to take the banjo out, performing with it all over the country. They went to the UK, they went to Australia, they went to Europe, and
spread it around the world.
Yeah, they did. It was the first really American cultural export, like 100 years before rock and roll. And one of the reasons why we don't talk about this is because they were doing it in blackface as part of the minstrel show. And that's, for various reasons, that's a really hard thing for us to talk about. There's a lot of negativity that goes along with that. But you also have to look at the fact that it was the most popular form of entertainment in America for over 50 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's at the root of our culture, music, dance.
It's what started Broadway.
It started everything, syncopation.
There really was not much syncopation in American music then. Give us a little example of something, and I'll play the bones.
Yeah, so this was originally published in 1855, the very first banjo tutor called the Briggs Banjo Instructor. So this is a little piece from that.
That's great. The other thing that's, I think, interesting about the minstrel shows is that's actually how black performers started getting into show business.
Yeah, I mean, after emancipation, that was the only way that they could be entertainers, was to actually blacken up, to put on blackface. Sometimes the blackface was lighter than their actual skin tone, but that was the only way that they could get into the entertainment industry. And that was a really great industry for a lot of African Americans because of just if you had ability, you could get into it. As long as you blackened up, you could do it instead of so many of the other things that were sort of closed to them. So that was definitely a way to make a living.
And when white people actually saw black people performing and saw how talented they were, they just wanted to see more. Yeah,
I mean, that was where I think the blackface minstrel show started to kind of go downhill. Is that people started? You can see it in the press of the time. People started going, "Why are there white folks being in blackface when there's actually these black performers doing, but then, in the black community, the blackface minstrel show sort of, it was subverted, and some of the comedy that comes out of that. I mean, when that's your only outlet, and it's such a sort of negative thing, you have to sort of turn it to you have to turn it, or otherwise you can't survive. So some of black humor and some of the oldest things in black entertainment come out of that sort of subversion of the minstrel show. So I mean, it's extremely important to talk about. George Buck is dead. That's what he said. Don't you put no shortening in my bread. George Buck is dead. Last word he said. Don't you put no shortening in my bread. George Buck is dead, that's what he said. Don't you let your woman have her way. If she has her way, she will go and stay all day. Don't let your woman have her way. Well, we know what we're doing. Down the line, down the line, down the line, I won't see trouble in my way, trouble in my way, trouble in my way down the line. George Buck is dead, last word he said. Don't you put no shortening in my bread. Don't you put no shortening in my bread. Now, now, don't put no shortening in my bread. Julie, oh Julie, won't you run? 'Cause I see down yonder the soldiers have come. Julie, oh Julie, can't you see that them devils have come to take you far from me? Mistress, oh mistress, I won't run, 'cause I see down yonder the soldiers have come. Mistress, oh mistress, I do see, and I'll stay right here till they come for me. Julie, oh Julie, you won't go. Leave this house and all you know. Julie, oh Julie, don't leave here. Leave us who love you and all you hold dear. Mistress, oh mistress, I will go. Leave this house and all I know. Mistress, oh mistress, I will leave here. With what family I got left, they're all I hold dear. Julie, oh Julie, won't you lie? If they find that trunk of gold by my side, Julie, oh Julie, you tell them men that that trunk of gold is yours, my friend. Mistress, oh mistress, I won't lie. If they find that trunk of gold by your side, mistress, oh mistress, that trunk of gold is what you got when my children you sold. Mistress, oh mistress, don't you cry. The price of staying here is too high. Mistress, oh mistress, I wish you well. But in leaving here, I'm leaving hell.